Hi! Today I'm going to be trying out some new makeup, specifically makeup that is zero waste, more sustainable, plastic free, that kind of thing. All of these products, except one, are brand new to me. Pretty much all of these brands are brand new to me as well. I will have everything linked down below. I got most of this off of Earth Hero, although you could buy directly from these brands' websites. Obviously, makeup is pretty difficult to be zero waste. I'm a little afraid. I feel like this look is going to be a very natural, light look. A lot of zero waste makeup that I found online seem to be in that direction, but hopefully it still looks good in the end. Hopefully this isn't going to be off to a bad start, but I got this concealer from River Organics and it says soft vegan coverage. I got it in the lightest shade and I still am not even sure it's light enough for me. But this is in like cardboard packaging, like paper, so like that. I got a couple of items from River Organics, but they were one of the only brands that I could find that had concealer, like a sustainable, plastic-free, zero-waste concealer, and it comes in this pot, and I'm going to use a brush to try and apply it. I think my biggest concern right now is that this is going to be extremely light coverage. It's not going to cover my dark circles at all. The concealer I use on a daily basis is very thick, heavy coverage. And right away, just putting a brush into it, it's feeling really dry. It's creamy, but it's nowhere near creamy as what I'm used to using, unfortunately. We'll see. And it's definitely more yellow toned. I usually try and go for more of a pinkish tone, just based on my skin color and trying to cancel out any blue color under my eye. Yeah, it's kind of what I thought. The coverage is, I mean, it's doing something. It's not nothing, but it's such light coverage. The difference between this eye and this eye, I feel like on camera and in person, you can barely see a difference. So I'm just gonna pile it on until I'm satisfied. Maybe it's, I can layer up the coverage and that'll help. The shade range actually, though, is better than I was expecting for a small vegan, organic, zero waste type of brand like this. It still wasn't great. I think I've put on about as much of that concealer as I could. The coverage is just, it's really light. It looks natural. It doesn't look like makeup, so if that's what you're looking for, then maybe this would be a product for you. It's just not the product for me, just because I prefer more coverage, and also the color isn't quite right. It's a little bit too yellowy. I'm not sure if that is the same with other shades. I'm not going to be applying a foundation, so I'm going to be really lacking in coverage, but I don't wear foundation pretty much ever. So it would be wasteful of me to buy a zero waste foundation if I have no intention of using it. At least the concealer I can try and get some use out of in some way, I'm sure. I didn't get a foundation, so I'm just going to move on to set the concealer around my eye area with some powder. The powder I have is from a company called Zara & Co. It's in a paper cardboard type of packaging as well, and it's a loose powder. You can see white at the top. It's a translucent, no color to it, so I won't really be helped in the coverage department. I have not used this yet, of course. Pretty much all of these products are first impressions, but I immediately don't like this packaging. unfortunately. Like, I like that it's paper and cardboard, so it's easy to dispose of. And I know that you pretty much keep this for a really long time, and you can buy refills on their website. So the outside packaging you could just have forever, theoretically, and just replace like the inside powder or refill. But this is so tall. Like, to give a comparison of a powder that I feel like any makeup person knows, the Laura Mercier Loose Translucent Powder, which I own because I really like that powder and I've used it for a long time. Powder takes a long time to go through. Is about half as big as this. This is huge. It would take a lifetime to go through, and it's so tall. Like, I've never seen a powder this tall before, and unfortunately what that means is it's so tall that it won't fit in the desk where I keep my makeup. So that's pretty annoying, but my expectations for a powder, I guess, are pretty low. I just wanted to set my makeup. I'll dab in my brush right here. It does have a little divot, which is nice. The powder kind of stays somewhat contained and doesn't make a big mess. It has a smell. So I don't really feel like... I'm not going for a matte look by any means. I usually prefer to be a little dewy, but this really doesn't like mattify at all. So if you have like oilier skin and you're looking for a powder to like mattify, this probably isn't a good choice for you. I feel like I'm being really negative in this video, but I'm just sharing my honest thoughts, and these products cost the same as any other makeup product. They're not super cheap. They're not super expensive either. They're kind of mid-range, so I expect them to perform like other mid-range makeup, so maybe those expectations were too high. Also, it does have a smell. It's not bad. The only way I can describe it is it smells like the old theater makeup that my high school drama production used to use on people, which is not, you know, a positive smell. It doesn't linger though, I can't like smell it anymore, but while I was applying, I did notice that. Next, I'm going to be using a blush. I have this lip and cheek stain. I figured I would use it for both, from Fat and the Moon. It comes in this little metal tin. It looks like this. Obviously it looks very dark, but it's like one of those stain type of things. It's not going to come out this dark. So I'll just put it on my lips really quick, actually. I don't know if you can tell a difference. I'm like digging my finger in here. It's very natural. Like too natural. You know, I do see a little bit of a difference compared to my lips before I put it on. It's just the color is it's not pigmented. But I'm gonna go ahead and apply a brush in here and put it on my cheeks. See, I definitely feel like you can see it on my cheeks. I feel like I almost put too much on. I'm sure it'll fade though. It's got that dewy finish. It didn't feel like sticky or uncomfortable. It does have a little bit of tackiness like when I tap my face. So I don't know if it's going to set down. Some cream blushes do, some don't. The next product is again from River Organics. It's a brow wax. Usually I do my brows before I do like blush, but I forgot. So it's in that same type of packaging that the concealer is in, and I got it in medium brown, and that was a mistake. Clearly it's hard to like pick your shade range for something online like this. I should have gotten dark brown, because this medium brown, it's just really, I probably could make it work if it was ashier, like more gray toned, but it's pretty warm, like reddish colored, which is not, it's just, I almost hope it doesn't show up too much because I know it's going to look weird. So I'm just using a spoolie on the end of a different old brow pencil that I have to kind of pick up the product on here. Brows are like a really important part of my makeup look, so I hope this isn't terrible. The color is so wrong. It's so warm. The color is just so, it's so bad. It's really, really bad. But I'll say this, it definitely has, like, you can see the hold. You can feel the hold, I guess I should say. Like, compared to my other brow, you can see how my brow hairs are, like, sticking up a little bit, which is what I like. I don't know if it'll stay that way for very long. It's kind of like a little bit clumpy. I mean, it certainly has pigment, and it feels like it has hold. Like, when I went through to brush them up and shape them using the product on a spoolie, it does feel like pretty waxy, which is good for a brow wax like this. Can't really get past the color. It's, I don't know how bad it looks, but it was a little bit clumpy as well. Like, it didn't go on the smoothest. I don't know if that's because I'm kind of using not that great of an applicator. I'm just going to quickly throw on a highlight from RMS Beauty. This isn't like really known like these other brands for being like a zero waste sustainable brand, although it's better than plenty of other high-end beauty brands. So I'm just going to put a little bit of their cream highlighter. I believe this is called the Living Luminizer. Honestly, I don't need a ton of highlight just because the blush kind of gave that same wet look. Like, it was very dewy, and this gives that look as well. I just wanted to clip my hair back so I can do bronzer and really get around the edges of my face, and hopefully you'll just be able to see the application better. But for bronzer, I have a cream bronzer again. This is from Lush, and it's in a little glass jar, and it's a skin tint called Charisma. They have one of these that is a much lighter shade that you could use as a highlight. And then they have this deeper color to use as a bronzer. I'm just going to dab a little bit on the back of my hand and then use that same brush that I used for blush to apply it to my cheeks. So this bronzer definitely has a strong red undertone. It almost looks like a blush, and it's not just because I used the same brush for my blush. I did use this bronzer like 2 days ago just to test it out. I do really like the blendability. It glides across the skin, takes no effort to blend. And I've tried a couple other cream bronzers, even one that I really enjoy, the Milk Makeup bronzer that is in a stick form. It blends, but nowhere near as easily as this does. This just, with a few swipes, it's meshed into your skin. And that I really like. The color is not for everyone. I think it's probably partly a personal preference. I don't mind the color and how like red toned it is. It does have, like, it looks pretty shimmery in the jar, but I don't really think that comes across very much on the face once you've applied it. But one other thing I will say is, again, it's not super pigmented. If you really wanted, like, this is not for contouring. It's a skin tint. The name is appropriate for what you get. It is a natural looking skin tint that definitely gives you like that tan look, like a little bit of a sunburn slash tan, but in a good way. I don't know if this would be that great to layer a lot and try and build it up a lot on your skin. I think this is just meant for natural looks. As far as my eyes, I know there are some brands that you could buy like a single eyeshadow in like a bamboo packaging or like in a tin, but I just wanted to go ahead and use a little bit of the highlight and bronzer that I used and use those on my eyes a little bit before I switch to eyeliner, rather than doing like a complex eyeshadow look. I usually don't do too much with eyeshadow anyway. I'm a proponent of just using the bronzer that you used and throwing that in your crease. So yeah, that's good enough for me, honestly. I just wanted a tiny bit of definition, darker color on the outer corner / crease, light in the inner corner, a little bit on the brow bone. That's it. I'm going to put on a gel eyeliner, which also is from Zara & Co. So it's just this product and then mascara, which is also from Zara & Co. And that'll be the complete look. I feel like I looked mostly the same as I did when I started. Maybe a little bit better. For the eyeliner, it comes in this like paper cardboard packaging, but then on the inside you have the actual eyeliner pot jar thing. And I thought that this was kind of redundant. Like, why can't you just ship this? This is so tiny, by the way, like the size of my thumbnail compared to this. It's really small, which is nice. You don't need a giant pot of black eyeliner. Like, whoever goes through their gel eyeliner anyway? But it's just like this black creamy color. I'm hoping that it's going to be easy to apply, that it's going to be opaque and not really shiny. I'm not gonna have to go over a bunch of times to build up the color. A black eyeliner should just be totally black on one stroke. We'll see if that happens. And you know what? It did come with this bamboo brush, but it's just not, I really don't think I'm gonna like this brush. So I'm just gonna use my own brush. Oh my gosh. It's not all the things I just listed of what I wanted it to be. It's not really those things. It's not, I mean, it is black, but it's not as black and opaque as I would like it to be. It was certainly creamy, and I just felt like my own brush when putting down the pigment was also kind of picking it up as well. Just the texture of it was almost like a little bit too liquidy, and I need it to be a little bit thicker than that. It's just coming across as dark gray rather than black, unfortunately. It is pretty matte though. It doesn't really have a shine to it. So that's the eyeliner. I'm just gonna move on. I'm not gonna bother trying to layer it up, especially because I did wings and I don't want it to get any worse. So let's just do the mascara. It also came in like this little paper outer packaging and then the actual bottle here. And you unscrew it just like the eyeliner, and I'm not gonna lie, it looks like identical to the eyeliner, which I really hope it's not, because it looks so liquidy. So I'm afraid that when I stick the applicator in, it is going to, like, when I swipe it through, it's just going to get everywhere. Like, if it touches any of my skin, it's just going to leave black marks everywhere. It did come with a bamboo applicator as well. I'm a little skeptical about how often you have to clean this. Like, who wants to be cleaning their mascara wand? Oh my god. That's just way too much. And the bottle is so full that it's really hard to scrape off all of that excess. Oh my god. Okay, so I finished applying the mascara, and unfortunately I'm gonna have to say that that's the worst mascara I've ever used. I'm just used to normal mascaras. It was so thin. It was exactly like the eyeliner. Like, it felt like the eyeliner and the mascara were the exact same formula, like very liquidy. and that's a problem. It didn't transfer all over my eyes like I thought, so I guess that's good. But it didn't lengthen, it didn't volumize, like there was no building up of volume or length. It just was like coating my lashes with a liquid, and it turned them black. I didn't even really feel like it did a great job separating, which is probably down to the brush. A mascara is like half the formula of the mascara and then half the brush applicator, and the brush that they sent is not really great for separation. It's more for like volume and building up and like having that thickness to build on top of itself, and the brush really did nothing because the formula wouldn't allow it to. So this is the final look. I can't say I'm like really pleased with it. It doesn't look terrible, but if you're used to like regular non-zero waste sustainable makeup, this will definitely feel like, to me it felt like a downgrade. Like these products weren't really matching up to what I've used from other brands. Hopefully zero waste makeup steps up its game. I'd say probably the two products that I think were pretty good is the blush, the lip and cheek, and the bronzer was pretty good too. The concealer is just too light for me. Brow product, kind of could take it or leave it. I'd really have to see if a different color would work for me to give my accurate review, but I do feel like at least it had some hold. And then the eyeliner and mascara were not really good successes just based on the formula, unfortunately, of both of them. Hopefully at least this video was informative, and thanks for watching.